In today's video, you're going to see me speak to a seller for the second time, and it's not the actual seller, but it's a seller's agent. The reason is because you guessed it, it's on market. I came after this seller's agent with the perspective of buying this property as a buy and hold rental. Since it is a three family and there is currently one tenant in place, going into this investment, I am approaching it with the eyes of either taking over subject to or seller finance. So I want to do creative finance with this deal. Unfortunately, we came into a little situation with the seller as the person on the deed passed away. Luckily, it does not have to go through probate, and his spouse is able to fully take control of the property and continue on with the sale. However, as you will hear in the phone call, it's going to take a little bit of time. That's okay. I'm not worried about it at all. But it was a really good opportunity, I think, for you guys to take a listen, see how I was able to talk to the seller, see how I was able to talk him through all the different purchase options of what would and wouldn't work. At the end of the phone call, I'm going to break down an email that I wrote to follow up with our phone call, and hopefully you guys can get some key takeaways here. Okay, cool. How you doing today?
Good. How you doing?
Could definitely be better. Long, rough day, but still breathing. Couldn't be happier to be alive. So
That's what matters. Yep.
Okay, so let's take a look here. It was 22.
Yeah. About. I was gonna wait till we spoke again. I found out today the owner passed.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Shit.
So they're still gonna sell at some point, but I mean they have to take care of all the legal stuff that's associated with that. So I mean, if you're interested in it like now, they have to wait a few weeks.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, and it would have to. Is it going to go through probate, or are the heirs already lined up for it?
I think it's already lined up. I spoke with the wife this morning because I was trying to call my client, and then she answered the phone, and then she broke the news to me. And so I wasn't trying to push too much, but she said, give me like a few weeks till the end of the month.
Okay, yeah, they have to. Yeah, they're gonna have to figure out what they want to do. I mean, that definitely motivated to sell at this point. You don't want to have a rental property while going through something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, definitely. But but like I said, they still want it to sell. It's just the timeline on it is a bit uncertain right now.
Of course. I mean, I can definitely wait for however long they want. I mean, we can we can talk stuff throughout also.
Okay.
Yeah, was this like a sudden thing or?
It was.
Oh my
I was
God.
speaking with the guy like 2 weeks ago.
Oh my God. So.
Yeah, I know. It came out of nowhere. Not like he's been in the hospital or something for God knows. It just happened.
Yeah,
it shocked me. I didn't. I was like, wow. Oh wow. You know.
Some start to 2025.
Yeah, hey, he's a good guy. It's unfortunate, but yeah.
Oh man. All right. Gee, okay. So do you know, so the way I'm looking at this, I guess if you want to just get into my numbers straight up.
Yeah.
I got all your P&Ls basically. I did it just based on my calculator. I do it if all the rental units were even. So I know the one unit's at the 725, not looking to displace that current tenant, especially if he's a good tenant. That's gold to me. So with the 725 and the 2850s, I just did my numbers based off a average monthly rent of $800. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah,
okay.
That's a fair assumption.
Okay, and it's the 3 units, 2 bed, 1 bath in 2 of the units, and then it's a 1 bed, 1 bath, correct?
Yes. Well, the upstairs could kind of be a 2-bedroom. I mean, I think he did. It was a 2-bedroom at one time, but then he turned one of them to a living space, so it could be turned into a 2-bedroom or be utilized as such. The downstairs is a big 1-bedroom, and then the tiny house is a 1-bedroom.
Okay, so it's operating right now as just like a 3 or a
Yeah,
111.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay, no
There's
problem.
potential for the upstairs to be a 2. Yeah.
No problem. I just wanted to make sure my numbers are good before I went speaking all this. So they're looking for a purchase price of the 220. I want to get them as close to that as possible, of course. For total expenses, I'm just under 1,200 a year,
Mm-hmm.
right? Giving us an NOI of about 14,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now if we're taking into account the expenses and the NOI, and then I have to look at debt service afterwards because I'm buying this as a rental property. I can't do traditional low down payment, so I'm gonna have to go DSCR for lending.
You're doing a DSCR, okay.
Lending on the this is just one scenario if I were to do lending. So current rates with that are 7.5 around, and then taking into account my debt service, I'm going to be looking at a cash flow of about $48 a month.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and that's just because that's just with interest rates right now. The mortgage is going to be nearly 1,100, so you can see that doesn't really go in line with pretty much anyone for this property, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you think you would have a lender that could get me a little less than that?
Oof. Like a local person, maybe. But even, I don't even know if it's 40. Yeah, I mean, maybe you'll get 100 a month, but I mean, that's still like,
Right.
I could shoot you a text. I could shoot you a text for a local lender I use.
Okay, I mean,
give you her number. She's very good. I've used her before. I've had clients use her before, and she's very good. She's very good. She's mostly residential. I think this should still fall under her umbrella. But yeah, I'll send it. I did send you over her contact info. Her name's Bonnie.
oh, cool. Yeah, it'd be great to speak with Bonnie. Because, I mean, to really make this somewhat attainable, I would, of course, ideally want to be around maybe a 4% interest rate. So I'm cash flowing maybe about $400 a month.
Are you willing to pay down? Points at all?
Yeah. Points are fine. I mean, then it'll bring my entry price a little bit up, and then my ROI would, of course, go a little less, especially first year with the points. But it still might be a little iffy on that. And that's also banking on if I can get a DSCR at 4%, because right now that's practically unheard of, right?
Yeah, that sounds like that'd be tough. I mean, are you planning on a 220 purchase price? Because like I said, I think I sell it for 200.
Yeah, that's at the 220. I just did it off at the 220. I can go back and do it at the 200 quickly. But then I also looked at it if I was just going to do cash, right? So if I'm just going to do cash, we're looking at probably about 1,200 cash flow because I don't have any debt service, and that's just gross income minus total expenses. But it's still only going to get me a 6% ROI, and
I think
that's still pretty low, especially for real estate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel ya.
So those are the dilemmas I'm kind of coming to. So who do you think would be the best person to purchase this property? I feel like an owner-occupant at this point, right?
Potentially. Or, I mean, you could put in, you ask what you think it's worth.
Right.
I mean, you're what works for you. I mean,
right.
That's what I would do in your shoes. I could socialize it with whoever is running the estate, I'm assuming his wife. And, I mean, she'll go with it or she won't. And, that's how I would approach it. Just make it an attractive all-cash offer with no contingency.
Of course.
That'd be how I would work. Because if it's like a DSCR, and then there's appraisal, and yada yada.
Especially in this scenario, she's not going to want to deal with something like that. So I can definitely put together I guess a lower cash offer. I don't want to lowball her too much because she wants to get a good return on this, right? So my other question here, I've done this a couple of times in the past with some properties where there's no mortgage on this, correct?
No mortgage, no.
Okay, so since they have 100% equity, do you think she would be interested in possibly a higher purchase price and I can just make payments to her in a sense? Because if she was just going to keep this money in a bank, she's clearly not living in it. She can get a better return on the proceeds of this sale than she would just having the money sit in a bank account. Do you think that could be
So
something
you
we
want to
could
do
talk to
like
her?
seller finance, but with a higher cash offer? She might go for that, but I'm thinking no. I think she's more leaning towards let me just wash my hands of it.
Okay.
I could ask.
Okay, because in this case, she's.
I'll throw that out there to her. Be like, hey, here's your option A, B, C. What do you think's more attractive to you?
Yeah,
And but pros and cons to all of them. So I could throw that out there as a possibility to her.
okay, and before you even throw it out to her, like as a verbal offer, I can definitely shoot you over the terms and everything so she can see the pros and cons on paper. And she can even do the math herself on it.
Yeah, sure.
I'd be more than
Shoot
willing to even
over an
hop on
email
a.
to me. Yeah. Like I said, it's going to take a little time to get you an answer, though, just because everything that's going on. I'm not going to be bothering her until she has something, her footing, and until she kind of collects herself and the dust settles a little. But, like, we definitely get probably the ball moving, like I said, towards the end of the month. But it could be something now. I mean, when that time does come, I mean, you're the first one in line, so.
Right, right. And I mean, the benefit at least you're in communication with me and she can see a couple of offers before she goes through the whole hassle of relisting it, dealing with way more people coming in, saying yes, no, maybes, and then she can. I feel like in this way, it's a good way for her to get her cake and eat a slice too at the same time. So I'd be more than happy to do down payment, even cover your commissions if we can work something out like that. But most importantly, I would love to get on a three-way call with you and her after she sees my offer, of course. I mean, if she has any questions whatsoever, it would be great. We can all communicate effectively together and go about it that way. So
Yeah, we can discuss that, when the time's right. But
right.
For now, if you just send me an email with that, and I'll take a look. I'll hold on to it, and once, like I said, once things are right, and she has kind of a plan forward, I'll present to her.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Let's do that, and then I guess we'll go from there.
I'll send you over the contact info for Bonnie as well. You can give her a call.
Okay, is that the wife?
Hopefully you can shop a better rate.
That's the lender.
Local folks are usually better for it too. I mean, they're more skin in the game than some large bank. But
right.
Yeah, or I don't know who you ask, but a lot of the DSCR guys aren't local. So yeah, I'll shoot that over to you too.
Yeah, I have one of my guys, Chad. I don't know if you know him. What is his last name? Let's see. I need to pull it up in 1 second. Do you think you would know him if I mentioned the name?
Chad, does he work at the bank?
Yeah, he kind of is with his own local thing.
DiBiase?
No, his name is Chad Myers. What is his company? I forgot.
I think I've heard that before. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, I know he's kind of local to Rochester. I know his bank started really in Syracuse, but then they've been branching out. So, possibly. But anyways, that's who I was kind of touching base with my rates here.
Oh, okay. So at least it's kind of up in the area. Okay. So yeah, okay. That's good.
Okay, but do you see at least the benefit that a seller finance could be to her?
Yeah, definitely. I've done seller financing deals before.
Okay, awesome. So you're very familiar with
really
it.
Depends. What's that?
You're very familiar with it.
Yeah, very familiar. I'm doing it for an apartment complex right now. I've done it for a commercial building. I've done it several times. Yeah. So
awesome.
Nothing new to me.
Awesome, yeah. So that's great. I mean, I have a transaction coordinator that really puts together all of my deals. She would work with you, title, paperwork, and everything. Um, but I'll outline all that in my email to you, okay?
All right,
And
cool.
let me,
Very cool.
is it
Yeah.
just replying back to that email that you sent me before?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, just reply right back to that, and we'll go from there.
Okay, let me just double check. It's shickp1 at gmail.com.
That's correct.
Awesome, Peter. So I'll get that over to you, and then we can kind of start discussing it from there, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, Peter. It's a pleasure to speak with you. Enjoy the rest of your night, sir.
You too, Elliot. Have a good one.
All righty, talk to you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. That's crazy. The seller passed away like that. Damn. It's unfortunate, but now I need to follow up with the email and present my offers accordingly. So, gonna do just that. Hopefully send it out to him in the next 15 or so minutes. Then get a pump in the gym. All right, so 2 hours later, I was finally able to get this email sent out to Peter. It wasn't actually 2 hours, it was probably like an hour just because I didn't have it written up in the exact format I wanted. But, anyways, I started out by reiterating exactly what we said on the phone. I went through a finance with the DSCR lending and I explained exactly why this property wouldn't work out with such interest rates and other factors. So we outlined that at first. After that, I then outlined the email where I presented him with the cash offer and why a cash offer at their asking price or even at a lower asking price that he told me I could possibly get. Regardless, I explained why they both wouldn't work. So you can see in this last paragraph, I even said financing out of the picture on this. I hate the fact that I can only give your client a lowball offer of maybe 160. At that price, I could see a return of 8.75%, which is still honestly a very low return for real estate. Typically, you want to aim for that 12+% ROI. So I added that in the bottom paragraph of the email. On the second part of the email, this is where I present the seller finance situation. I started by saying another idea that came to mind while speaking with you is a way to approach this without involving banks, dealing with stressful inspections, or navigating contingencies that other potential buyers may require. It would also simplify things for the seller's family, eliminating the need to create a financial plan for the proceeds of this sale. Why did I say that? Because the current person who is taking care of this property is no longer in these sellers' lives. So they would need to plan out what are they going to do with this money when they get it. And if we can solve that for them by paying payments to them, they really don't need it to plan anything else. So I said I'd taken this exactly from a whole compilation of YouTube videos, and I wrote this up. I'm going to upgrade the seller from being the landlord to being the bank. We're going to create a promissory note that says I promise to pay them with whatever is on the note, and then that gets securitized with the mortgage since this property is in New York. If I default, the seller would get the property back. Long story short, that simple. The mortgage gets recorded as a lien against the property in the amount of the promissory note. So in the event something happens to me, God forbid, you got to add a little juice to it. The seller can liquidate the asset, sell it, and made be whole on the loan to me. So right there, he did say that he's done seller financing before, but I wanted to reiterate it in a way that he could easily transfer it to the seller in super easy to understand words. I then solidified this by saying this approach benefits everyone involved and ensures peace of mind. On top of that, I'm willing to cover your agent commissions, and I included the price, and then we were able to kind of sum it up in a nice, easy way that would motivate the agent to present this offer to his seller. Finally, I was able to finalize this whole email up by saying I would like to get some terms from the seller. Why? Because he who names his price first loses. I want the seller to think about this and think about what kind of prices and terms they would be looking for. So I can then come back and renegotiate something that would better suit myself. I continue to say to please give the seller my condolences. That's just common courtesy, people. You need to be courteous, especially in situations like this. You can then I included also, you can even just forward her this email so she can understand where I'm coming from and where we need to go in order to get a deal done. I'm always looking to make the best out of any situation thrown at me. Looking forward to working with you guys, Elliot. Nice, simple closer, super easy, and hopefully it will get the deal done. Stay tuned for part 2.